all the negative side effects growing up has come from previous trauma, and potentially trauma that's been happening for over a long period of time also. And the ACEs, if I'm pronounced ACEC
Mhm.
study, um, uh, my question would be, in your opinion, since obviously you have the most knowledge about the topic, what would be the best way to handle um, people? And it's a really hard question to summarize in two
Mhm.
sentences because it's not one answer fits all. I
Right.
understand. But what would be the best way to handle people who have gone through trauma in their past?
Now, are we talking about children or adults?
Let is it okay to take one at a time to consider
Yeah.
both since we have both viewerships?
I'll do the best I can.
Thank you.
Yes. So for children, it's funny because Mr. Senteno there is been helping me with my content creation. This is actually the first step to launching my business. We haven't launched it yet.
Hmm.
Been working on some things, but just being able to um, start acquiring followers, putting out some posts, some videos, and we do have a video coming out. It's just some five or some tidbits on how to support children that have been exposed to trauma. And I can tell you one of the first things is, don't take their behaviors personally. And that's hard to do sometimes, especially in the school environment when you're doing the best you can to support a child in the classroom, but you've got all these 10 things that you're having to do, right? You've got standards to teach, you've got 25 other children to support, and it can be really difficult. So it's really important. Number one, don't take the behaviors personally. The behaviors are a form of communication and they're telling you something. The other thing I just want to say is that I don't want there to be a misunderstanding. Because you see a child with severe behaviors, it doesn't necessarily mean right off the bat, oh, they must have gone through trauma. Oh, something must have happened. Not necessarily. Okay. It's important that's where full assessment comes in, because it could be that the child may not have experienced any trauma, but maybe there's something biological going on. Maybe there's some hormones off balance. Maybe there's an allergy. Maybe there's a developmental disability, right? So there could be other factors that could be leading the child to engage in maladaptive behaviors. But to go again, how do we best support them? It needs to be safety first, right? Ensuring and reminding that child that they are safe, that
Hmm.
you are a safe person. And that takes a lot of work. It takes persistence and resilience from that adult who has that child, or who maybe it's a foster parent or a teacher, right? So it's going to take a lot of work on your behalf to help that child to feel safe. Um, so ensure the child's safety.
Hmm.
Don't take things personally when you're working with that child, or supporting your own child in the home, your own nonverbal messages, right? Because we speak, a lot of our communication is through nonverbal means, our hands, our facial
Hmm.
expression, our tone of voice, talking or interacting or misdirecting, ensuring that your tone of voice, that you're keeping yourself calm, and speaking in very basic words to a child. Sometimes a child who are very hypersensitive to their environment because of the trauma they've gone through, they're very keen on your nonverbal communication. They're very keen on your tone of voice, what you're saying. If you're redirecting, you don't want to use a lot of language because that can cause a child to their anxiety to rise and their defenses. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.